Hi, I'm Jen and this is Dennis. We are from CrossFit 716 and Lesniak Chiropractic. We are Lululemon ambassadors and we are going to show you guys how to make 3 dishes for a Paleo Thanksgiving.
So the first dish that we're going to do is a bacon and Brussels sprouts with candied pecans. So we're going to have some bacon, it's already chopped up, Brussels sprouts that are halved, chopped garlic, pecans, and then there's going to be some coconut sugar. And then we're also going to do a paleo version, grain-free stuffing. So we got chopped celery, we have dried cranberries, fresh chopped sage, pork sausage that you can either buy at the store or you can make on your own, chopped onions, green apples, and then finishing up in the oven we have some chestnuts that are roasting that we got to peel. And Jen's going to take you through the beginning stages of her dish right now.
We're going to make some paleo pumpkin bars. So we have pumpkin, vanilla, warmed honey, coconut oil, eggs, grass-fed eggs, almond flour, some arrowroot flour, baking soda and salt, and some pumpkin spice. So we are going to mix first the wet ingredients. So we're going to take the pumpkin, the warmed coconut oil, half a cup, the honey, about 2/3 of a cup of honey, warmed as well. Okay. The vanilla and the 2 eggs. If you're worried about getting shells in there, you guys can crack the eggs into a bowl separately. Like this one's gonna get a little crazy. There we go. But we're good. Shell free. Okay, you're gonna whisk them together. So if you have a hand mixer accessible, that would be great. We like to do things the old-fashioned way, so we just use a whisk. Don't take the easy road, guys. Do a little workout in while you do this. So once you get all of these wet ingredients combined, in a separate bowl, you're going to combine the dry ingredients. So let's just get this whisked up a little bit more. Pretty good, all combined together. So in this bowl, we're going to take our almond flour, about a cup, okay? Half a cup of arrowroot. Now arrowroot's one of those borderline paleo items, but this is a dessert anyways, it's a treat. It's still considered a grain-free, gluten-free item, but just in case you guys are trying to follow a really strict paleo, that might not be okay. There we got our baking soda, our allspice, pumpkin spice, and we mix it all together. You want it to look the same throughout, so you gotta just mix it up a little bit. Then you're gonna slowly add your dry ingredients to your wet ingredients. We'll worry about the frosting after we bake it. Okay. So I'm gonna slowly incorporate some of these dry ingredients in. Add a little, we'll whisk it up. I'm gonna use my spatula. If you guys have the hand mixer, you're gonna put that on low. This recipe is from Frugal Living, but it's Paleo Cupboard's recipe modified. We're gonna post that for you guys. You don't wanna get it too lumpy. Good. The rest of that mixture in. Once everything gets combined, and it looks pretty much the same throughout, you guys can take this mixture, you can add it to an 8x8 pan. I put the parchment paper in because it's a little easier to get it out once it has to cool. And the spatula works great to get all the stuff out of the bowl. So now we're ready to bake in the oven. This is going to bake for 35 to 40 minutes. At 350. So that's it for the bars. When it comes out, we'll cool it, and then we'll talk about making that frosting.
So we just finished cooking our chopped bacon, and we left all of the bacon grease in there to start with the Brussels sprouts and the garlic. So it's going to be a hot pan. Just make sure you're careful when you're adding in all the other ingredients. Things are going to cook up real fast. So now we added in that garlic. Right away we're going to start throwing in the Brussels sprouts. Just be careful, there's a lot of water in them. And what we're going to do is we're going to saute these down for a few minutes. And then when we come back, we're going to be candying the pecans, mixing in the bacon, and then we'll be having our finished dish. The big thing with the Brussels sprouts, we want to make sure that they're not going to get too bitter, so we want to make sure that we're not going to get them super dark green. We want them to still have that really nice fresh color. In a separate pan over medium heat, we got the pecans. We're just getting them warm right now. What we're going to end up doing with them is I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of this coconut sugar. This is going to heat up and start caramelizing over the pecans. So we're going to add that in. We're going to start folding it in. Once we start folding it in, we really don't want to stop. We don't want it to burn. Okay? If we have that sugar start to burn, then what's going to happen is we're going to have an issue with the taste. It's going to become bitter. And if then your Brussels sprouts are overcooked and the sugar burns, then you're going to run into a lot of issues. So when we're done mixing this all up, we're going to put everything together. We're going to put that bacon together. We're going to put the Brussels sprouts in, and we're going to mix it all up, and then it's ready to go. Okay, so Brussels sprouts are pretty much done. I always like to undercook the pecans just a little bit, just because that sugar can burn. So you can see there might be a little bit of the sugar itself still there. Once you mix it in the pan with everything else, it's going to break on down. You're probably not going to get all of it into the pan. A lot of it's going to stick on the other pan. That's completely fine. And then I'm not going to be using all of this bacon because some of this is saved for the stuffing as well. Now, say you don't like pecans, but you still want to try the recipe, you could always substitute in walnuts. You could substitute in almonds. Just trying to get a really nice flavor profile by mixing all these ingredients in. And then all we're going to do is simply mix all this up, or you could serve it just like we kind of had it. So you're seeing a nice mix of everything. But mixing it in is going to help that sugar disperse all throughout the pecans, and it's going to melt completely. And then this dish is ready to go, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the stuffing.
While the pumpkin bars are in the oven, we are going to make our frosting. So we're going to have our softened coconut oil. Okay. We're going to add our vanilla. I'm going to do maple syrup, 4 tablespoons. And a pinch of sea salt. So we added coconut oil, maple syrup, vanilla, and a pinch of sea salt to the cup. And now we're going to blend it so it gets thick. And as you can see, it starts to thicken up. We're going to put that in the fridge and use it as our frosting for our pumpkin bars.
Just sprouting our sausage for the stuffing. So we left the fat in there, and now we're adding in our onions, celery, sage, apples. We're going to saute all this up, and then I'm going to add in the remaining bacon into this mixture. And then when we come back, we're going to add in the dried cranberries. We're going to rehydrate them with a little chicken stock, and then at the end add the sausage back in and then mix it all up. So we finished sauteing the mixture of onions, carrots, apples, sage, salt and pepper to taste. Now we're going to add in our roasted chestnuts. They're roasted, they're peeled. We kind of mash them up a little bit. We're going to toss those in. Next thing we're going to bring in is our cranberries. You can do fresh cranberries if you want it to be a little more tart. We went with the dried ones just because it's a little bit faster and easier for us. Those are going in as well. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put in some chicken stock to help rehydrate the cranberries. Real important thing with this recipe, it's really to your taste, so it does not have to be perfect with the measurements of anything. So, you know, if there's certain things you like more of, certain things you like less of, that's completely fine. So we're going to cook this up until the cranberries are fully rehydrated, and then we're going to add in the sausage. We're going to mix that up, and then we're going to throw it in the oven for a few minutes. So our cranberries started to rehydrate. We're going to add in the sausage, We're going to mix that in. We're going to cook that in a little bit. Den's not happy about the sausage going back in because now he can't eat any. Once this is all mixed up, we'll put it in a casserole dish, and then we're going to throw it in the oven and crisp it up a little bit, and then we're going to serve it.